Of you. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We were waiting for you three to come back.
Of course. Thank you.
Because you only had one more minute before I told them they could move your things off the table and take your seats.
They know better.
Oh, I don't think so. I think they were salivating at your seats, so they were getting ready for it. How's everybody doing today? Great. Okay, I want some of that energy you YMCA'd to, or whatever the heck was going on here this morning. I was sitting there working, and all I could hear was, I don't know what going on. So, here we are again. How many of you have been to one of my classes before? You're the reason I'm back, so thank you, I guess. How many of you first-timers? Okay. So I guess I'll tell you a little bit about me so you know why you're here. Some of you will choose to leave before I get going then. My name is Chad. I've been with Keller Williams a long time. 2001 is when I started with Keller Williams. I was a buyer's agent over in Las Vegas, and I was a buyer's agent over in Las Vegas when I got started. I had the pleasure of being Rookie of the Year for the Southwest region for Keller Williams. I did 75 transactions my first year on that team. As the team grew, we grew our buyer agent division. I managed the buyer's agent division. From there, I decided to go to a different team. I joined the Brinkus team. If you've heard of them, that means you've read the Red Book, or you've been to one of my classes before, because they are in the original book. Rick and Terry Brinkus told me the greatest thing ever. They said, Chad, you should never work with buyers. Awesome. Loved that day. She taught me to be a listing agent. For the next 18 months, I listed 25 to 45 homes every month. And at the end of that 18-month streak, Terry asked me to be the... It's okay, people. It was real numbers. Okay, they're all looking at me behind you. They're like, huh? Really? I haven't looked at any yet. No, don't worry. Okay. Terry then gave up to me one day at the end of that 18 months to break my streak. And she said to me, Chad, we need you to be the interim team leader for a little while. We had to let our team leader go. What that would mean is if Brad moved on, left the opportunity, Gene would come looking for an interim team leader. Let me tell you this lesson. If you don't want to be the team leader, do not be the interim team leader. Because the word interim falls off, and next thing you know, you're stuck as the team leader. It took me 4 years to get unstuck as the team leader in that office by moving to Bellingham, Washington. It's the only way I did it. Now, do any of you geographically know where Bellingham, Washington actually is? Yeah. Is there anybody who has any idea? Okay.
Yeah. The northwest corner.
It's as north as you go. Like, you see that umbrella? That would be Canada. If this was us. That's the border that needs the wall. Okay, so you people don't know the threat those Canadians bring us. So then what happened is I moved up to Bellingham, Washington. Now, you might not geographically know where it is, yet a lot of you will recognize Bellingham, Washington, because it's the home of a gentleman named Ben Kinney. And if you don't know his name yet, it just means you haven't been with the company for more than 3 minutes. You'll hear Ben's name, see Ben's name, you go to family reunion, he'll be everywhere, all over that stuff. You'll know Ben's one of our top 3 producers every year for the last decade. He's built many of the programs and systems that you use at Keller Williams. Ben and I built something called IMSD, with the Internet Marketing Specialist designation. We taught everybody how to break the internet and grow their real estate business. How many of you have used Craigslist in the last month to post something real estate related? Right, because we broke it. It used to be so easy to use Craigslist to succeed and grow your business. They actually sent us a cease and desist to stop doing it the way that we were doing it, and we weren't allowed to teach it that way any longer. And now Craigslist is much harder to use for success. Yet I then traveled the country teaching the internet marketing stuff in a class called Bold Tech, and I came to Atlanta, Georgia, where Cheryl Sidoti, your regional director, said, wait, stay. And for 4.5 years, I had the pleasure of being your growth and productivity director. What that meant was I was your team leader's team leader. So I chased Brad the way Brad chases you. That was the short of it. I did that for 4.5 years, and 2 years ago I stepped out of that role, and I become the Director of Expansion for the Southeast region of United Home Group. We're the largest expansion team in the country. We have over 200 partners. We're over 150 different market centers across the country, helping agents achieve the success that they want, and I get the pleasure to work with someone named Kody Gibson, who I'll talk about in a moment. That's who I am. Now, I don't tell you who I am because I want to say, look what I did. I tell you who I am because I've been in that seat. Whatever role you're in right now, unless it's an MCA, I have been in your chair at one point or another. So when I teach a class, you'll decide if you want to come back after this one, that's for sure. When I teach a class, what you'll know is I bring it to you in your language. Is that okay?
Yeah. Yep.
I'm not reading some manual that tells me this is how to teach the class and say this line, which isn't true, and say it this way so that they fall for it or anything like that. I'm going to teach you stuff you can practically actually go do every single day. Is that okay that I give you real, applicable things today?
Yep.
Okay. The one other thing I want to tell you about myself, if you don't know and haven't figured out and haven't heard, is I'm originally from the Northeast. Born, raised New York, Toronto, that area. So 1, that means I speak quickly. I do not speak Southern speak. So stay with me. Okay. 2, there will be no y'alls today, so get comfortable with that. I do not say y'all. I do not say fixin'. I just do things. I don't fix to do things. So I don't necessarily speak your language. You're going to have to translate a little and understand I speak Northern. Okay? You guys confused over there? You Googling what I just said?
The difference between fixin's a Texas thing.
Oh, I've heard too many of you, Joe. I've heard too many of you Southern people running around fixing things. Bless your heart, right? The other thing, as you can quickly tell, is that sarcasm is a first language to me, not a second language to me. So I will offend some of you today. So just be prepared for that. I'm not that nice instructor that Keller Williams sends that says, "That's such a good answer. Who else has one?" That's ridiculous. Why would you even think to do that, right? I'm going to be that guy today. Are you okay with that? Yeah. Okay, if you're not, take a phone call and leave right now. No one will notice. Come back and get your stuff after class. Just figure out what you're going to do. On the subject of phones, if you've been in one of my classes before, you know what's coming. Put your phones in airplane mode. Not on vibrate mode, in airplane mode. Because if your phone goes off during class, the standard donation is
$5.
You are cheap. Yeah. All right? It's $5 to KW Cares and $5 to the person who snitches on you. She's dialing you right now. Your phone's ringing, I swear. Okay? $5 to the person who snitches on you and $5 to KW Cares if your phone goes off during class. If it vibrates across the desk, that's the same thing. That's going off during class. Those of you on your laptops, your iPads, other things like that, if they beep, that's the same thing. I'm not saying, "Oh, that was your computer, we forgive you." No, you better make sure your computer's muted. Here's the other thing. The people behind you can see your screens. Would you agree? Okay, if your screen is anything other than note-taking for class today, that's like being on your phone. Okay, we're not here to be in our email, we're not here to work on a contract, we're not here to check Facebook, so if you're on any of those other windows and doing that other stuff, and somebody goes, "Aha! That's the $5 fine on both ends of that, KW Cares and to you." So if you're using it to take your notes, I'm all for it. If you're using it to find something else to do, go elsewhere and go do something else. You're not going to offend me if you're not here. I'll teach this class for one person if one person can get something from it. If you're here because you just think you should be here, then be here. If you're here because you think you should be working on your email and it's that urgent, go elsewhere. Someone wants your seat. Is that fair enough? Mean enough? Yeah, fair enough. Okay? How many of you have ever been on a listing appointment? Would you answer your phone in the middle of a listing appointment? Then why would you check it in the middle of a class about how to get more of them? Doesn't that kind of make sense? Okay? Alright, so I'm going to tell you what class we're going to talk about today, yet I'm going to give you a website first. You don't have to go there now because you don't have your computers and your phones and all that stuff. I was waiting. Yet I'm going to write this here. You can write it, and I will tell you why you might want to go later. That says www, okay, for those of you who are challenged. Okay, then the word is tinyurl.com. Okay, tinyurl.com / class with Chad. Now, you might want to go there before you go to sleep tonight. Okay, you might not. You'll decide. What I'm going to do at the end of the class today is I'm going to send out a checklist of the 7 steps to 10 listings to help you have the accountability to continue with all of this to anybody who has gone to this website and put your email in. So don't come give me your card. That means I have to do data entry. Not going to happen. Okay? You go to this website, it's going to ask for your name and your email. That's it. And I will send that out tomorrow to everybody who's done that by midnight tonight. So if you come tomorrow and all of a sudden at 9 a.m. you go put your name in, nope, you probably missed it because I probably woke up before you and had that list sent off to everybody. Okay? Will you get other things from me? Sure. I'll never sell you anything, yet I will send out some of the training videos. Brad has shown a few of my videos, I have found out. Brad has shared them with you and said, Chad, they love the squirrel video. You'll get those directions. You don't have to wait for Brad now. So if you want that, just go there, fill that in before the night is over. Now, the class I'm teaching today is what? 7 steps to 10 listings in a month. Awesome. Originally, that's not the class I was supposed to teach you today. Right? Originally, I was teaching you 8x8 and 33 touch today, And then Brad said something to me like 2 weeks ago about, do the listing thingy! 'Cause I did it over at Peachtree Road, and I think somebody said something, and Brad was like, I wanted that. Okay, so all that means is I think next month I'm teaching you 8x8 33 touch. I think Brad has, and I'm doing it because I like Brad. It's not because of you. Okay. I'm doing it because I like Brad. I'm also doing it because this is my market center. Right? For those of you who don't know, this is the market center I'm affiliated with. When I moved to Atlanta, I lived in those apartments. I think he's got me teaching like every month for you guys. So I guess we'll find out by the end of the year, because either the class will be really, really full and I won't have to do the intro because you'll all know who I am, or the class will be really, really empty because you all know who I am and I'll just stay at home. So if there are certain classes, topics you want, make sure you tell Brad. Say, hey, can you have Chad come talk to us about this, or what does Chad teach about that? Or if I say something during a class and you're like, ooh, we want that, make a note of it, because I won't remember, okay? I think he's got me for 8x8 33 touch next. Today we're doing 7 steps to 10 listings. 7 steps to 10 listings in a month, okay? This is not my class. This is Kody Gibson's class. Now let me tell you who Kody Gibson is. Kody Gibson is the CEO of United Home Group. He's the gentleman who created the team that I have decided to run the Southeast region of. Kody Gibson has been a very successful agent. I'll talk about that in a little bit. He started in Alaska. Anybody ever been there? Okay, they don't have snow days. They just go to school and work anyway, right? That's expected. They have bear days, if anything, right? The bears, okay? Kody started his business in Alaska. And Kody was a real estate agent, and he had success as a real estate agent, that when Keller Williams moved to Alaska, they recruited Kody to be the team leader for the Alaska Market Center. Now, if you heard what I just said, I said Alaska Market Center. That would be like one market center for Georgia. That would be like if every agent was here for the whole state. That's how Alaska was set up. It was one market center for the whole state. It still is. They have little business satellite offices in like the small towns. Everybody's basically in that one massive city area of Alaska. I don't know, I've never been there. Kody was the team leader up there. And from being the team leader up there, Kody then took an opportunity to move back towards the mainland, and he became the OP in Portland. So he's an OP in Portland, Oregon. He's also one of the original Bold coaches. So he's been teaching Bold for 8 years now, traveling up and down the West Coast. That's why you've never seen him teach Bold here. He refuses to go outside of his time zone because his commitment is he'll be home every night for his family. So after Bold, he knows he can still get home. That's a commitment. He said he'll teach it as long as they can make sure he's somewhere he can always fly home in the same day. So Kody has been a highly successful agent. Then he became a successful team leader. Then he became a very successful OP. He's also a very successful Bold coach. And he woke up one day and he said, I'm missing something. And what he realized he was missing is because of the path he took, he didn't build a team before he got into all the leadership roles. And what he realized was he doesn't have a real estate business any longer other than being the OP of a market center. So he said, you know what, I'm going to take my knowledge as an agent, I'm going to take my knowledge as a team leader, I'm going to take my knowledge as an OP, I'm going to take my knowledge as a Bold coach, and I'm going to build a real estate team. And he went out and he hired 3 people. Now, you don't know their names, so don't worry about that. You know their jobs. Person number 1 that he hired was what? Administrative assistant, right? Now, he broke the mold a little bit for the logical next hire that he went to. The next hire he had was a buyer's agent, which logically meant the third hire was a listing agent. So he went and he hired an admin, buyer's agent, and a listing agent. And in his first year back in business, Kody sold 100 plus homes and he never set eyes on a client the whole year. How many of you would like to sell 100 homes in 2019 and not have to actually look at a single client? How many of you would just like to sell 100 homes? You don't care if you got to look at it. So Kody built his business, had success. Of course, he's built United Home Group, which is now an expansion team. We helped 1,000 families last year buying and selling real estate across the country. And he was asked 2 years ago, I think we were in Las Vegas for family reunion 2 years ago, to teach a class that they called 7 Steps to 10 Listings in a Month. And after the class, it was his most requested, can you come teach this? And Kody said, there's no way I'm traveling the country to teach an hour-and-a-half-ish class. Who wants to teach it for me? So it had all of us regional directors for the United Home Group, we get to teach it. So what I want you to know is you're getting Kody Gibson 7 Steps to 10 Listings today. with Chad Hyams' twist. Because you get meat. Okay, so I have added a little to it. I'm a little meaner than Kody. He's a nice guy. He also has to teach it on stage at Family Reunion. You got to be a little more politically correct at Family Reunion. Speaking of which, how many of you are going? Why aren't the rest of you? And don't dare tell me because there's no tickets. I just got one during your team meeting because I didn't have a ticket. And I paid $500 for it instead of the $800 we're charging on the website today. You can still get a ticket. And that wasn't because I lowballed someone. That's because that's what they paid originally. And they said, I'm just selling it at the price I paid for it. You can still get a ticket. You can still find an Airbnb and or hotel. You might not be right at the convention center, yet you'll be close enough that it's easy to get to. You're going to walk plenty at the convention center, so walking a little to the convention center won't kill you. Okay? And it's only a 7-hour drive. That's how I'm getting there. I'm not even worrying about airfare. I'm getting in the car and I'm driving. It's taking me 7 hours. That's 2 tanks of gas and I'm there. Cheaper than a plane ticket. Get a few of you together, carpool, share the gas prices, now you can mastermind as well. There's no reason not to be no reason not to be attending. And if you have a big enough car, you can just sleep in it while you're there. Someone's already asked me, yes.
If anyone wants a road trip, Martino's and McCarty's are on a road trip because it's about the same as far as time as well.
Absolutely.
But we can upgrade to a bigger van.
Okay, so there you go. If you're thinking about going and saying, I didn't want to spend the money on an airplane ticket, jump in, become part of the conversation. You'll have friendships that will last you a lifetime at another level from spending that much time together around family reunion and car ride. I'm teaching twice this year, that's all I know. Well, Kody did this class a while back, and now what we're going to do is we're going to bring you 7 steps to 10 listings a month right here in your office. So I just want you to know the class that you're getting, where it came from, why you have it, and what's going to come from it. Now I'm going to give you 7 steps to 10 listings. How many?
7.
Okay, good. Just checking. Step 1, you're going to go duh. Okay? Step 1 is duh. Step 2 is that'll be your reaction to step 2. You won't like step 2. 3, 4, 5, and 6 you're going to love. I'll make you laugh. You'll be like, yeah, those were fun. 7 you're going to hate, and you know 7 already, and it should be number 1, yet if I just put it at number 1, you're going to tune out for the rest of the class. Okay? And I don't care whether you're brand new or you're experienced. You know what these 7 really are. You're just not doing them.
Correct.
So, let's talk about step number 1. Step number 1 to 10 listings in a month. Set 1 appointment a day. Now, what did I say you would say when I wrote that? Duh. Right? Chad, if I were setting 1 appointment a day, I wouldn't be in class because I'd be doing just fine with myself.
Right.
Okay? Here's the thing. You don't even have the mindset to set 1 appointment a day. You come into the market center to say, yay! And if I set an appointment, awesome. That's not going to get you the success you're looking for. You've got to come into the market center with the mindset of, I will not leave this building until I set 1 appointment today. I will not go home tonight until I set 1 appointment today. I will sleep under this table in the sleeping bag that's in the trunk of my car until I set 1 appointment a day. Now, do not hear this as a way to not have to deal with your kids. Honey, Chad said I couldn't go home. I have to stay and keep setting appointments. You feed them. Right? No, that's not what we're talking about. It's the mindset of you'll come in to set 1 appointment a day. This is the thing you don't get. It is your job. It's your job. See, you thought your job was to show pretty houses. No, they do that on HGTV. You thought your job was to write contracts. No, that's actually getting easier and easier, and Kelly will write them for you momentarily. You thought it was to do that. No. Your job is to set an appointment every day with somebody to help them with real estate needs. Now, how many of you have ever had a job in the past? You went somewhere, they gave you a check. Okay. Tell me some of the expectations of that job of you. What was one thing they expected?
Punctuality.
Show up when?
On time.
On time. Okay, so you had to show up on time. You couldn't just decide when you wanted to get there. Okay? What else did you have to do?
Execute the performance.
Okay, so execute what they wanted you to do at that job.
Set goals.
You have to set goals and then execute to achieve those goals. Okay? What else? You told me show up on time, so what goes along with showing up on time?
Leaving on time.
Yeah, not leaving until it's time. Okay, so I had to show up on time, set goals, execute to achieve those goals. I couldn't leave when I wanted. I had to leave when they told me to leave. What else did they expect of you at your jobs?
Say yes to your boss.
Say yes to your boss, okay? What was that?
To produce.
Results.
Produce results, okay? So executing to achieve the goals.
Professionalism.
Be professional. Anybody work at a job that had a uniform?
Dress appropriate.
So you had to have a certain dress code, correct? Okay. Anybody here ever work at Chick-fil-A? I mean, I'm in the South. I figure that all of you have worked at Chick-fil-A at some point. What are the last two words they have to say? So you don't even work there, and you know the answer to that question. Do you know why they say "my pleasure" is their last two words?
Because they had the guy that started, Rich Carlson, come in and tell them how to up their game.
Okay, but why do they say "my pleasure"?
Customer service.
Customer service. Yeah. Focus on them.
It's got nothing to do with the customer.
The brand.
It's to tell them that they enjoyed what they just did.
Oh, that's good.
Say it right now. Say "my pleasure."
My pleasure.
Good. So you enjoy being in my class? That's what you're saying? Guess what? Next time I show up, you're going to show up. Because you just told yourself it's your pleasure to be here. Do you get that? Let's be really, 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 really honest. McDonald's, Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
Okay, now hang on. Hang on a second. You just judged. There's no difference, except the fact that these employees are happy. These employees are miserable. And you feel it when you walk into the place. Okay, yes, one's chicken and one's hamburger. I'm not talking the food. I'm talking about fast food just in general. Why are they happy at Chick-fil-A? Because all day long they keep telling themselves it's their pleasure to do it. They had a script. They had to say something specific, and it told their brain something specific. When you, the jerk consumer, argued with them about something, they still finished the conversation and said,
My pleasure.
"My pleasure. I loved helping you who were a complete jerk." Right? Loved it. That was awesome. I can't wait for the next one to show up. At McDonald's, they just say, "You want to supersize that?" Right? And you want a Diet Coke? Really? Really? That's what they say at McDonald's. They've got the attitude. That's why you have the different personnel. All right, it's your job. So we have to show up on time. We have to set goals, produce to achieve the results towards those goals. We have to dress appropriately, act professionally, and we don't get to leave until the day is done. Correct?
Yeah.
Good. Do you all agree, if you owned a business, those might be some of the basic standards you would put on your employees? Good. You all have an employee. Guess who? You. How many of you, if you really had to pay yourself to do your job, know you should fire yourself right now? Thank you for admitting it. I'm telling you, 90% of you know, if you had to be paying you every month for this job, you would fire yourself based on the results that you're not producing. Because you show up when you want. You leave when you feel like it. You dress however you just felt that day, whatever you wanted to wear for whatever dress was. You don't have some sort of standard. You didn't act professionally half the times that you were here. You might have set goals in one class one day back in October and you don't even remember what they are anymore for the year. And you're definitely not achieving them by doing the production that you need to. Because you don't have the mindset that says every day I will come in and set one appointment. One appointment. One appointment. Are there days you won't set an appointment? Yeah. So what do you have to do tomorrow? Now here's the trick question. Today is Tuesday. So I didn't set an appointment on Tuesday. On Wednesday I have to set 2. Thursday I have to set
3.
No! You don't leave until you set 1 on Wednesday. You never let that number get over 2. Ever. Because here's what's going to happen. And you did what everybody did. So yes, I jumped on you just because you were first to speak up. They were all thinking the same answer, right? Oh, well, I didn't set 1, so Thursday I'll have to get 3. Friday I'll have to get 4. Next Monday I'll have to get 5. Next Tuesday I'll have to get 6. All of a sudden it's up to I need 12 appointments. So I set 1. High five, I got 1! And then you start over at 0. Like, where'd the other 11 go, people? You can't let it get that far ahead of you. You have to have the mindset of, I'll find an appointment today. I'll find an appointment today. I'll find an appointment today. I will find an appointment today. Now, how many days are there in the year?
265.
There are 365. How many business days are there approximately in a year? Thank you, 250. Because I'm not going to ask you to work every day of the year. I'm not that guy. I believe take time off. If you take one of my calendaring classes, I'll show you, block time off. It's important. Okay, so 250 business days in a year approximately. Now, how many of you have read MREA? How many of you have read it more than once? More than twice? We got some reading to do. How many of you have intended to read MREA? More than once? More than twice? Okay, we got some intending to get over. How many of you do not even know what MREA is? Okay, it's Millionaire Real Estate Agent, known as the Red Book, known as MREA. It is the Bible of real estate. Can we all agree that that's what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. I can tell you why you haven't successfully read MREA, most of you. Because you're reading it like a novel. It's not a novel. You don't go cover to cover. Let me tell you how MREA ends. You win. Yay! Okay? Stop reading it like it's a novel. I just told you it's the what? Bible of real estate. How many of you have read the Bible? And do most of us read the Bible from there is light to there is no more light? Is that how you read it? How do you read the Bible?
You have to let it open.
You jump all over the place, right? The pastor says, we're going to do this book, we're going to do that book. You just randomly open it and say, God, I must need something on this page, whatever it is. Stop reading MREA cover to cover. You don't need it that way. How many of you have been in business less than 6 months? You don't need the organizational model part of the book yet. How many of you have a team? You don't need the lead generation part anymore, hopefully. And all of you should just skip the budget section because you're not going to do it anyway. Let's just be real. Okay, you're not going to follow it, so why bother reading it? You're going to just be like, oh, I read it to say I read it. Okay, so in MREA, though, Gary Keller does talk about conversion rates. Talks about conversion rates, and we're just looking at the listing side today. He says, a millionaire real estate agent that goes on 10 listing appointments will achieve how many of them? 2. Clearly, we all need to read MREA again. If a millionaire real estate agent goes on 10 listing appointments, how many will they earn?
Hopefully 10.
Who said it? What'd you say? 8. Absolutely, very good. Give her a prize or something. I got a hat. You want a hat? 8. They say you'll achieve 8. 1 you didn't earn, 1 you didn't want. Okay, 1 you didn't earn because their brother's neighbor's dog's best friend's walker used to be a realtor, so they have to go with that person. Okay, and 1 you didn't want. Now I'm going to bust a myth right here for you. There is one reason you don't want a listing, and only one. What is it? Wrong. Someone was about to say it, so I was just jumping the gun on it. What was it that you were going to say? It was overpriced. There is no such thing as an overpriced listing. Write this down. There is no such thing as an overpriced listing, just an unrealistic seller. Okay. There is no such thing as an overpriced listing, just an unrealistic seller. What are you doing? It sounds fun. Oh, all right. Okay? No such thing as an overpriced listing, just an unmotivated seller. What's your average sales price in this area?
75.
Holy crap, really? Yeah. That's awesome. All right. So I'm just going to say $400,000, average-ish, okay? I'm going to say 400. Just an easy number for me. $400,000. Folks, is there a home out there that should be $400,000 that right now wants $460,000? So are you thinking that's an overpriced listing? Yeah, okay. Is there some realtor who will take it?
Yeah.
Why not you? Why not you? What's the purpose of a listing? No, it is not! Thank you for speaking first.
To get more listings.
Say it again and say it louder.
To get more listings.
The reason you take listings is to get more. Your sign in the yard, they call. Do they know it's overpriced when they pick up the phone to call on the sign? No. Do they know it's overpriced when they show up to walk in the open house? No. They don't know it's overpriced when you post it on Facebook without the price to click through to your website so that they can go find out that it's overpriced. They don't know it's overpriced until they've talked to you already, and what have you hopefully done by then? Converted a lead. The purpose of a listing is to generate more business. So it might as well be your sign in front of that listing.
That's a good question. Is that justified?
Without being yelling at you? All right, fine.
But when everything's selling the weekend you list it and that one sits there, I always think it's a bad reflection on us.
Yeah, it's awesome. Look how much longer your sign's up for people to call you.
That's not the way I look at it, but...
Well, change the way you look at it. Change the way you look at things. The things you look at change, right? Yes, of course. I don't want my sign sitting there in the yard for 3 years, yet hey, if people keep driving by, that person wasn't there yesterday. The only person who knows it's been there for 3 years is the neighbor. Okay? They won't call me. That's okay. Everybody else who drives through goes, wow, look at this lovely home. Call. They don't know the sign's been up for 2.5 years already. I want you to understand, if you're being honest with your clients, all you have to do is say, I understand you want $460,000. Looking at the numbers we talked about here, I don't do CMAs, so I'm not talking about that today, okay? Maybe in another class. CMAs saying, based on the numbers we see here, would you agree the home probably sells closer to $400,000?
Yes.
Okay, let's go for $460,000, because that's what you want.
Mhm.
Yet I want you to understand we might need to have a conversation about a price correction in the near future. They're just being unrealistic. That's okay, as long as you're not lying to them and saying, no, I'll get you $460,000. And guess what? Someone else is saying just that. Might as well be your sign and you're being honest with them in the first place. We'll do everything we can to get you that, yet do you agree that the price probably comes in closer to around this to generate you the traffic? I want my sign in the yard. Okay? Okay, so, we go on 10 listing appointments. How many do we earn? 8. Very good. We earn 8 of those 10. Of the listing appointments that or of the listings we take, what percentage of them actually sell? Does anybody know this from the conversion?
90%.
No, I wish.
Keep
going.
67.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Okay, 60%. Basically 2 out of every 3. So guess what, folks? That overpriced one, it's the one that doesn't sell. 2 out of every 3 listings you take isn't good, or 1 out of every 3 listings you take won't sell anyway, so let it help the other one sell. Hey, I really appreciate that you want $460 because you just helped these 2 ladies sell their houses. Good, awesome, my numbers are working. Okay? You're not going to sell every listing. Have you ever had a listing, it expired, or you canceled, withdrew it, however you ended up canceling the contract, and like 3 days later it's sold with another realtor like that? Yeah. And you're like, you're a friggin' rock, right? Why? Who knows? It was the right time. They changed the price they put it at. It went into the MLS as a new number and showed up on the top of some screen for somebody. Someone came in from out of town just that weekend, finally, to go house shopping and saw the house, and it was just perfect timing. Right? 1 out of every 3 listings you take will never sell with you under that contract. Doesn't mean you don't extend it and then sell it. Okay? So, let's look at this math. I'm going to go on 10 listing appointments. Okay? I'm going to go on 10 listing appointments. I'm going to get 8. And then I'm going to sell 60% of those 8.
5.
Can we, thank you very much, right? We're just going to do stupid, easy
Dad,
realtor
my
math.
pleasure.
Thank you. Love it. Just telling him he loves math. All right. So here we go. He just said it, right? 60% of 8 is approximately 5, just to have stupid realtor easy math numbers. We can do 3% of anything and 5s. We're good at those. Okay. 10 appointments, I ended up with 5 sold. What percentage of my appointments sold? 50. Very good. All right, you guys are good at this. This side's very good at math. You guys need a little help. All right. 50%. How many business days were there in a year? 250. What's 50% of 250? 125. I'm going to round down to 100 because I'm not good at math. Your average sales price was?
400.
Can we agree then that the average commission, I'm not doing anything, the average commission check is around $10,000? Right? If it's a $400,000-ish, we can figure that the check's probably just a little over $10,000, maybe you give back a little. We're going to say 10. Folks, you go on 250 appointments. You end up selling 50% of them because that's what the conversion numbers tell us you should do. You round down to be safe and only sell 100. And you get $10,000 commission for each of the ones you sell. How much money did you just make? If I were holding a mic, I would drop it. Do you get it? It's just that easy to make $1 million. Chad, you just make it sound so easy. It is! If you came in with the mindset of 1 appointment a day, and you got your conversion to where it should be, you are making $1 million. How many of you don't want to work that hard, and you only want to set an appointment every other day? And you only make $500,000. How many of you are okay with that? Right? You get it?
Yeah.
It's your job. You should not show up for work late. Now, is there a time you're supposed to start? Don't give me that there's a specific time that realtors punch a clock and start. Yet, can you as the boss set the time that you as the employee needs to show up for work every day? You can say, I drop my kids off in the morning and then there's traffic getting to the office, blah, 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 blah. I don't start work till 10 o'clock. You can say that. You're the boss. Yeah, what better happen at 10 o'clock? You better start work.
Make an appointment.
If you want to say, hey, I'm going to be the guy who's in the office at 8 a.m. before traffic, I worked at the regional office. I live up in Johns Creek. I worked at the regional office for 4.5 years and lived up there for 4 of them. Folks, I was at my desk by 7:15 every morning. It was just smarter than dealing with traffic. I set my start time as 7:15. Cheryl never said to me you had to be in that early. I also left at 3 o'clock every day before traffic got crazy because I had been there since 7 in the morning. I said, these are my hours, Cheryl. She said, I don't care. Good, awesome, right? You set your hours. It's a job. Show up, be professional, set the goals, do the activities that need to happen to make it all come true. 1 appointment a day, and it's the mindset you have to have. Now, we say 1 appointment a day. We don't say, go set a whole bunch of appointments and then take the rest of the week off. We say 1 appointment a day. Why do we say 1 appointment a day? What are we helping you create?
Habit.
Creating powerful business habits. That every day you'll set 1 appointment. How many days does it take to create a habit?
7.
21.
21.
Oh my God, Brad! Has anybody read a little book called The One Thing, written by Gary Keller? Bestseller, life-changing. You should read it. 66 days is taken to create a habit. All of you who took 21 days to work on something, you were a third of the way there, and that's why it's not a habit. Because you never made it. It takes 18 to 254 days to truly create a habit. Depending on the habit, 66 days is the point where it's going to be as easy as it's ever going to be and close to as a habit as it will ever be. Some will happen quicker, some are natural, some are easy for you, yet 66 days to create a habit. Okay? That's a whole other class. Alright. Step 1. Duh.
Okay.
You don't do it, you duh. 2. This is the one I told you, what are you going to do?
Door knocking.
Okay. For those in the back, it says not 1 for sale by owner or expired door every single day. It's okay, you can make the sound. I told you were going to.
I don't want to do that.
I don't care. Don't care what you want and don't want. These 2 people, the for sale by owner and the expired, are the people saying, I want my house sold. They are the easiest. They are identifying with that big searchlight. Me, I want my house sold. The expired is saying, I want my house sold and I chose the wrong person. The for sale by owner is saying, I want my house sold and don't think I need you. Yet they're both saying, I want my house sold. And you're not talking to them. I have honestly taken realtors door knocking and watched them walk by a house that had a for sale by owner sign. And I said, where are you going? Well, they already have a sign. Go get a job. Go. You're not going to make it in this business. Okay? Now, let me ask you a question. How many of you drove here today? Some of you are like, really? There's a trick coming to this. How many of you have driven here before? Okay. How many of you drive the same way all the time when you get here? Stop doing it. Stop it. When you drive the same way every day, you are blind to everything that's there to see. There is a for sale by owner 1 block away from where you drive that you don't know because they didn't post it on Zillow, so it's not being pulled up by one of the computer systems out there, and you haven't seen the sign, and no realtor knows it exists because nobody goes down that street regularly enough, and because you don't turn left every now and then instead of right just to see, you're missing opportunities. You're missing opportunities by driving the exact same way every day. Take your kids to school a different way. Drive to the market center a different way. Drive home a different way. Go to the store a different way. We all have Waze on our phone, or should. And if you don't have that, you have a GPS in your car. The worst thing that happens is you get lost enough that you click the little button and the car tells you how to get back home. All right? You're not going to get that lost. Yet you need to get lost. Now, I will tell you, here's what I did with a for sale by owner. I'm not going to give you a copy of this, so you're going to have to take notes. I'm going to go very quickly through this, so you're not going to get all of it. It's okay. You'll get the idea. First thing I did was I took every disclosure possible, and I printed them. We have a lot of scary-looking disclosures out there. Mm-hmm. Yes. A home that was built in 1994 does not need what disclosure?
Lead.
Okay, yet it was in the packet anyway. Because it was another scary-looking disclosure, and I didn't know what year the home was going to be built because I was just preparing these in advance at the beginning of the week. I printed every disclosure the MLS has. And I stamped sample across them because you're not allowed to give those away to people. You do know that, right?
Right.
You can't give those away. So I put sample across them. Now, you could put sample on one and make photocopies. You could get it on your computer and put the word sample across it, then print it. Or you could just go buy a big stamp that says sample, and you could just sit there and go like this all day while you're watching the football game, which really wasn't that exciting, right? Whatever it is, however you want to do it. I put sample on all these forms. I had this packet, all these disclosures. And I put a cover sheet on the packet. And the cover sheet said something like this. No, it didn't say that. It said something like this. Enclosed in this packet, you will find all the disclosures that might be applicable for the sale of your home. Enclosed in this packet, you'll find all the disclosures that might be applicable for the sale of your home. %82 of all real estate court cases involved for sale by owners.
True.
82%.
Good figure, clear out.
You add that on the cover sheet, right?
It's all on the cover sheet. 94% of all statistics are made up, people.
You got a disclosure document.
82% of all real estate court cases involved for sale by owners. If you would be interested in having protection, please contact me. Bless you. And here's why you'd want to contact me. Insert unique value proposition. How many of you know your unique value proposition? How many of you don't even know what a unique value proposition is? Okay. Folks, you need to figure out why you, not me. That's the English of a unique value proposition as I've explained it to people. Why you, not me? You're not allowed to talk badly about anybody else. You can't tell them why they shouldn't hire Mark Spain. You just need to tell them why they should hire you. And because you're honest is not good. Because you're a good communicator is not good. Because you're all those things until you're not those things, and as soon as you tell them something that's a lie or you don't call one day, you're not a great communicator any longer and you've lied to them about it. Talk about that in a second. That's not till step 4 or 5. I made this packet. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay? Now, I've made 5, 6, 10 of these packets at a time, and I kept them in my car. And as I drove by and saw for sale by owner signs, I pulled up as close to the front door as I could, whether that meant the driveway or the street, whichever way, how the house was laid out. I pulled up as close to the front door as I could. I turned my radio louder, I opened my door to get out of the car, and I left the door open. I walked up to the door and I did this.
Hello?
Now, what's that called, what I just did?
No.
It's not called doorbelling. Stop walking up to a door and going, ding dong.
Well, now everybody can see you when you get...
Knock! Okay, it's called door knocking. I got up there and I knocked, and I knocked, and I knocked. Now, one of two things would happen. They would either answer, or they would not answer. Okay? If they answered, I handed them the packet. My name's Chad from Keller Williams. That's going to help you get your home sold. If you have any questions, contact me tomorrow. I'm on my way to another appointment. Have a great day.
Hey, come on back here.
No, and they're not going to say that. The thing is, most of you are the old used vacuum salesperson, and if you actually do knock a for sale by owner and they open the door, you stick your foot in there to make sure they can't close it, and now they don't like you. And then you lie to them and say, hi, I'm working with buyers who want to see what your property looks like, so I'm here to check it out, which really just means you lied to them about this buyer you're not working with so that you can get in there and attempt to list their house. Me, I gave them value when I left. I'm on my way to another appointment. This will help you get your home sold. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me later. Have a great day. They hear the car, they hear the radio, they know I'm not staying. Now, I don't care if the appointment you're on your way to is an appointment with another client. I don't care if the appointment is you got to pick up dinner for the family. I don't care if the appointment is you really got to pee. You are going to an appointment. You don't stay.
Can you say your 50 yet?
Hi, I'm Chad with Keller Williams. This packet's going to help you get your home sold. I'm on my way to another appointment. I'll follow up with you later. I hope that helps. Have a great day. Bye. I hope this fixing to all help y'all, you know, however you other people say. Say whatever you need to say. Knock. Now, this is a key question. This is the biggest question of the day. If you cannot answer this question, go get a job. I said I would call them tomorrow to follow up. Yet I did not ask them for sale by owner for their phone number. How do I get their phone number?
In the front yard.
Okay, I'm just checking that you know it's on the sign in the yard. Right? If you didn't know that, right? I talked to somebody once about door knocking and then sending a note card to all the people that answered the door to say thank you for taking the time to talk to me, and they're like, how do I get their address? I'm like, oh my God. You were at it. And you don't know the address. You moron. Oh my God. Yes, it happens. This stuff happens, people. Okay. We don't just make these things up for classes. Okay. So I knock on the door. I leave. I'm going to call them tomorrow. My name was Chad. I was the guy who stopped by. Did you get a look through all those disclosures? Did you have any questions? How are you doing on the sale of your home? Anything I can do to help? Now you just go into your normal for sale by owner conversation. Yet you provided value. You have just that much more of a chance of actually having the real conversation with them. Okay? Now that was one. They either answered or they didn't answer. Now, the didn't answer is not what you think. Because what most of you want to think is you just leave the packet. No, they didn't earn the packet. They weren't there. Okay? I have two choices, and I almost never chose option one. Option one is I can come back at another time and do it again. Now, if this were literally on the street next to mine, maybe I'd come back the next day at a different time and see if I can get it done. Yet I'm not driving all over the place to find that for sale by owner to hope that this time they're home when I knock. I usually went to system 2. Now, please understand in advance, some of you are not going to like option 2. You're just not. You're going to be like, Meanwhile, 3 of you in this room are going to be like, oh, that's awesome, I'm doing that tomorrow. That's okay. Those 3 people listen closely. Option 2. They were not home. I get back in my car. I start to drive away from the property. I call them. Where did I get the phone number?
On the front yard.
On the sign, right. I call them. When they answer the phone, I say, "Hi, my name is Chad with United Home Group at Keller Williams Realty. I was driving through the neighborhood, saw your house was on the market, wanted to see what it looked like inside, and no one was there when I knocked. How do you anticipate to sell your home when you're not home?"
Good.
I let the New Yorker come out. Right? Hey, dummy, how you going to sell it? You ain't there. Okay? Now, they either go, "You're right," or they'll go, "Well, I work all day," in which case I go, I have a way I can get them into the house, track who's in and out of your house all day, and we can get your home sold when you're not around. We should talk. Or, they're going to give me the jerk, hang up. Okay. I didn't know him beforehand. Right? It doesn't hurt my feelings. Folks, if you get upset when a for sale by owner says no and hangs up on you, get a job. Right? Because you don't even know that you just stood in line with them at the grocery store yesterday. It's the same person. Now, I could call that person back a week from now. They won't remember they talked to me. A week from now, I go, "Hi, I'm calling all for sale by owners in the area because I'm going to do..." They won't be like, "Hey, you were the guy who was mean to me last week." Okay? Your choice. Knock them. Get in front of the for sale by owners. Now, the other option is an expired door if you don't want to knock the for sale by owner door. Bless you. How many of you have ever worked expired? Okay. By 8:45 a.m., what has every expired stopped doing for that day?
Answering the phone.
Right, because they're sick and tired of all you realtors already calling, because where were you for the last 6 months while my home was on the market? Now all of a sudden you're calling, okay? Yet what will they still do? Answer their door. Show up. There is an expired between here and your house on the way home. Show up. Knock, knock, knock. Hi, my name's Chad with United Home Group at Keller Williams Realty. I saw that your home failed to sell and came off the market. I'm really sorry to hear that. Now, I'm sure you're sick and tired of your phone ringing from realtors who magically are coming out of the woodwork with buyers all of a sudden. What I'd like to know is, what's your plan with the home now? Oh, and by the way, I can make that ringing stop. Now, some of you are like, "Wait, how do you make the ringing stop, Chad?" You take the listing.
They still keep calling.
They don't call him, they call you now.
They call.
Okay? Because he's not on the expired list anymore, he's relisted. Right? Folks, go knock one of these doors every day. Not knock 5 on Friday. It's knock how many?
One a day.
Why?
Habit.
Because we're creating business habits. Go knock one door every day of someone who's already raised their hand and said, "I'm interested in selling." Okay, so 1, I said you would say what? 2, you would say, and am I there so far?
So far.
Okay, 3, 4, 5, and 6, I said you'd say, okay, it's all fun and stuff. Okay, number 3. Yes, I know I'm near the bottom of the page for those of you in the back. It's okay. Next time I show up, they'll probably not even have the easel. I mean, last time I was here, there was a dry erase board. I don't know what's going to happen. I'll be facing that way. I don't know what's going on. Number 3, follow up Wednesday. Follow up Wednesday. One of those 3 words does not matter as much as the other 2. Which one? Wednesday does not matter as much. What the point of that is pick one day a week that you're going to consistently be your follow-up day. It can't be Monday this week, Tuesday next week, Thursday the week after that, then back to Monday, and then over here. Pick one day a week that's going to be the follow-up day. Cody picked Wednesday. It's his class, right? Why did he pick Wednesday? Because on Mondays and Tuesdays he did the hardest calling he could. He did the for sale by owners, the expired, those internet leads. He did all that stuff hard on Mondays and Tuesdays. He gave himself Wednesday to not lead generate and only focus on following up. And then Thursdays and Fridays he worked his sphere and his database. What are the easiest calls you should be making? How many of you are actually sitting here going, wait, the database ones are the ones that scare me more than the for sale by owners and expired? Okay? And that's natural. Do you know why it's natural? Because when a for sale by owner or expire or internet person rejects you, you don't care. It's not truly rejection. Yet when your own family, friends, and other people reject you, now it hurts because it becomes personal. Here's what I want you to understand. Change the way we look at things and...
If you look at change.
Okay, do not answer this out loud. Do not write the answer to this question anywhere. Just think this answer in your head. Who is the worst realtor in Georgia you know that advertises? Okay, good. You all have an answer. I don't care who it is, and I don't want to know who it is. Okay? You all have an answer. Here's the thing. You have a sphere. If you are not calling them and reminding them that you do real estate, do you believe there's a chance that other name in your head has just sent them a mailer? Has just had a TV commercial, radio ad, billboard show up, knocked on their door, sent somebody, took a listing in their neighborhood, something along those lines? Yes. You are doing your own family and friends a disservice by not reminding them that you are there to take care of them, and they will end up listing with that person by default. So stop thinking you're bothering them. Start realizing you're saving them. Okay, so follow-up Wednesday. We pick one day a week, we do follow-up, 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 follow-up. Let me give you the scripts that go with it. At the end of your conversation, you say this: I'll follow up with you next week. At the start of your conversation, after that, you say, I'm just following up. Does anybody need me to repeat those two again? I know they were really tough ones. Okay. I'll follow up again with you next week. I'm just following up. I'll follow up again with you next week. I'm just following up. Now, you know who to follow up with. You know there's some you should not bother following up with. Yet here's what we know. Most realtors follow up how many times do you believe?
Never.
Once. Yet the statistics show again and again that 8 is the minimum number required of follow-ups before you get close enough to get the yes. So the only way you get the yes is if you lucked out that 7 other people called just before you, and maybe you got it that way by being the 8th. You don't follow up enough. There's a system we have at Keller Williams that we teach called the 8x8 for that purpose alone. You want to know more about it? Find out when I'm back. I don't know when it is. I'm coming back. Okay. I'll even have new jokes. Okay. Some of them. Okay, so follow up Wednesday. I'm following up. I'll follow up next week. I'm following up. I'll follow up next week. I'm following up. I'll follow up next week. How long does a follow-up call truly take, do you believe? 30 seconds to 2 minutes is what I'm hearing in the room. Can we all agree that that's true?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I ask you to follow up with somebody for a year, can we agree that there's 52 weeks in a year, 50 minutes, it's less than an hour of work given to that one person? Can we agree?
Yeah.
Okay. If I asked you to give me that 1 hour of work to somebody, and at the end of it they would call you and say, come list me. No contest. You got the listing. How many of you would give me that hour, like, again and again and again? Okay. So Charlie is our king of for sale by owners on our team. He's based in Portland. He works in our Portland branch. Charlie had a for sale by owner, and the for sale by owner got the call from Charlie. He said, all you realtors are the same. I don't need you. I don't like you. Don't call me. Leave me alone. All the things that we all expect to hear from the nasty for sale by owner. How'd Charlie finish the call?
Follow up next week.
Great, I'll follow up with you next week. And the guy said, don't. Now, next week, what did Charlie do? Followed up. Say, hey, I'm just following up to see if you had any real estate needs, if anything came up. No, I told you last week, don't follow up with me. I don't need you, realtor, blah, 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 blah. The next week, he texted the guy.
Yeah.
The week after that, he called the guy again. And then he called, he texted, he called, whatever it was. Here's the rule. You can't do anything other than call back-to-back weeks. You can't text 2 weeks in a row. You could call, text, 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 call. You can't ever go text back-to-back though. Okay? So Charlie called this guy, and at the end of about 4 months, the guy actually said to Charlie, taking the home off the market. Because I'm not saying that to get you to leave me alone, Charlie, because you're not going to anyway, clearly. I'm just taking the home off the market. I'm not selling it, whatever it was, the relationship changed or the business changed, whatever reason he had to stop. Not moving. How'd Charlie finish the call? Follow up with you next week?
Can you explain why not text back to back?
Yes, because you need to make contact with them. Too many of us hide behind the emails and texts and think that we're getting somewhere. Okay? You don't know they've read your text message. You don't know they've read your email. They've probably not read your email, just so you know. I'll yell at you in another class about emails. Okay? We have to call. Yes?
Does he leave a message if there's...
He would. Charlie was a message leaver. So yeah, he would leave a message, especially with this guy after all these weeks of following up with him. Hey, it's Charlie again, right? So he'd absolutely follow up with him and have that call. The guy took the house off the market. Charlie kept following up. He'd follow up. He'd say, hey, I'm just checking if you or any of your family members have any real estate needs that have come up. No, Charlie, nope, thank you, nope. Sometimes you wouldn't answer him. Sometimes you wouldn't talk to him. Sometimes you tell him to get lost. Sometimes you'd answer and they talk. The end of a year, Charlie woke up to a text message that said, Charlie, can you come list my house today at 2 o'clock? And Charlie showed up, and the guy said, you were the only person who's still following up with me. He said, why would I choose anybody else? Okay? How many of you have a dog? Okay? Your dog has a toy. It's its favorite toy, right? Every dog has its favorite toy. And it brings the toy to you, and it puts the toy at your feet. And you ignore the dog. What does the dog do?
Puts it in your lap.
Okay, so it either picks the toy up and it drops it harder, right? Or it puts it in your lap, or it leans on you a little bit, and then you still say, no, go lay down. And the dog goes and lays in the corner, and what does it do while it's laying in the corner? Right, it puts its little paws under its nose and it gives you that look like, and then finally you're like, fine! And you pick the toy up and you throw the toy. Why aren't you like that dog when it comes to your I had people join Keller Williams when I was a team leader purely because they're like, Chad, is it the only way I'm going to get you to stop calling me? I will join. Good. So win for both of us. Let's go. Okay? Follow up Wednesday, follow up. Don't stop following up. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Simple, it's easy. Go to number 4. Most of you will like number 4. Because you'll consider number 4 playing. So you'll like number 4. 4. Quote, I have a buyer posting. When I put the word post at the end of it, what do I mean?
Possibilities?
Nope. What does it mean?
A need.
Social media. We're going on social media with this. Once a week, I want you to post on social media that you have a buyer. Now, you can't just write the words, I have a buyer, and be done with it. You need to be specific. I have a buyer looking for. What are they looking for? Everybody has a buyer. And for those of you who are saying, I don't have a buyer right now, the person beside you would buy. Ask them, what would it take to get you to buy? Well, if you could find me something near Georgia Tech that was 40% below market value that I could rent at a positive cash flow, I'll buy it today. Okay, I have a buyer looking for an investment property near Georgia Tech, right? Looking for a 3-bedroom quick rental opportunity. Who do you know that's got something? Now, what are the 2 purposes of making this post on Facebook or Instagram or wherever you want to post this?
Finding sellers.
Okay, 1 is sellers. Somebody might say, hey, I've got that property, that's mine. What's the second reason we're doing this?
To show people you're proactively looking.
Just to create awareness for people. Absolutely. Show people, hey, look what I do for a living. Okay, there's nothing more annoying than the realtor that posts, I listed this, 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 I listed this. We don't care. Okay, yes?
Would you post it on your personal page or your business page?
Okay, well here's my answer. And my answer is followed up with a confirm with your broker. Business pages are useless unless you're planning to spend money on Facebook through advertising and boosting. Okay? So me, no, it wouldn't go anywhere near my business page. I shut my business page down years ago. It's still there. If you go on Facebook and look, you'll probably find it. Yet I did a posting on my personal page and my business page on the exact same day, the exact same wording, and said, this is a test to see how much response I get. And I will tell you, I got 1 like on the business page. I got a few hundred on the personal page. The algorithm of Facebook used to be business pages were better than personal pages. And then once they had all the businesses hooked, they flipped the switch and said the only way your business page gets results now is you boost your posts and spend the money. So, that would be my answer as a social media trainer and teacher for Keller Williams. In Alabama, they have to post it legally on a business page first, then they could share that post on their personal page. Doesn't get as much traffic that way. Yet that's the law in Alabama. I have no idea what the law in Georgia says if you have to. Like, they even have to put their license number on any post that has to do with anything with real estate in Alabama.
Yeah, supposedly we keep hearing about you're supposed to do it.
Yeah, supposed to is, yeah, right. Until I see somebody else get fined and you have a precedent, get off my case, right? That would be me. I would grab all these others and say, why didn't you find these people? You can't find me on this violation. Have a nice day. That'd be me. You're absolutely right. Supposed to.
Put the broker, the office number, all of that.
Right? And that's why I say, speak to your broker. If Chad is coaching you and telling you, no, I say, shut your business page down tomorrow and post this on your personal page all day long. Okay. Now, we want people to see this, and there's a challenge that we have in the world of social media, and it started with print advertising. Some of you are old enough to remember the newspaper, yes? Okay. The newspaper had this term called beneath the fold. This was an advertising term in the newspaper world, beneath the fold. Now, you could probably guess what it meant. Newspapers fold in half. Beneath the fold meant getting to look at the bottom half of the page. Think about the last time you saw a newspaper. I will bet on the front page of the newspaper there was a gigantic photo. Would you agree that the last newspaper you can picture had a big photo on the front? Would I also be correct in probably guessing that the picture was cut in half, and the only way you could see the whole picture was to unfold the newspaper? That's getting you to look beneath the fold. You see, because advertisers and newspapers used to be at the bottom of the page more than anything, they had to get your eye down there. Because even though they were there, the way we would read newspapers is we would just flip and just kind of scan the top of pages. Now think about it. In a newspaper, when they write an article, do they go, I'll do it your way, do they go left to right? No. Articles go how? Columns. They're going down. What's the purpose of that? Get your eye to the bottom. Now, the newspapers were destroyed by a little thing called the Internet, right? They're still hanging on, yet they were destroyed by a thing called the Internet. And when the Internet first came out, they had a term called beneath the scroll. Logical? Screen would show up, you had to scroll down to see more of the screen, correct? Now, Google actually tracked that. The more you could get people beneath the scroll on a page, the higher you ranked on Google. Why? You probably had something relevant that people were looking for and looking at longer, so they were scrolling down the page, so they stayed there. So Google said, you must rank higher. Because a lot of times, we've all done this, we've gone to a page, we do a quick scan of it, and then we click the back button because it didn't actually have what we wanted. Okay? Now, Facebook, can we agree, has eliminated the problem of getting you to scroll. Can you agree on Facebook, you just kind of do this all day? So what's the challenge on Facebook? It's not getting you beneath the scroll, it's getting you to stop the scroll. Can you agree that you don't notice 90% of the posts on Facebook because you're just doing this? Okay, so what are the things that catch your eye that get you to stop?
A photo.
Okay, so obviously a photo.
Video.
So what's a logical photo? Hold on, what's a logical photo that would go with this?
House, ideal house.
A house?
Buyer.
A picture of the buyer?
Picture of the area.
Picture of the location, okay? Right? Okay, I heard video. Please know this about Facebook. If you want to share a video on Facebook, upload it right to Facebook. When you upload it right to Facebook, what does it do on other people's Facebook feed? It autoplays. If you share it from YouTube or something like that, it just sits there and it's a link that they have to click on to go somewhere. How many of you have watched a video without really watching the video? Like you just conveniently stop the screen there and watch the little puppy do what the little puppy is. Oh, so cute. I'm not really watching this though. That's so adorable. Look at the puppy, right? Okay, and then you're like, no, I should do what I was doing here. Okay, that's why you upload videos to Facebook because they'll auto play. So I got photos, I got videos. What else gets you to stop scrolling on Facebook? Okay, memes are photos. So yes, you're right. Yet a meme is just another version of a photo with words on it. That's funny usually.
Too many teases.
Too many teases. What do you mean?
And they keep saying there's information, but you don't get to it.
Okay, so that's when you read it that you keep reading it. Okay, we got quizzes. Okay, so a quiz will get you to stop scrolling. Okay, what else gets you to stop scrolling? Emojis, a bunch of them. One probably doesn't catch your eye anymore, a little smiley face. Yet one of the crazy ones might stand out. The poop emoji seems to always stop people. Not chocolate yogurt, right? Recommendations that show up, sure, where you've got that, and Facebook will ask for recommendations, okay? How about those annoying colored boxes behind the words? Right, I actually intentionally avoid those because I think that's cheating. Yet people will all put a big red box behind it for no good reason. Yet sometimes it stops you and catches your eye. Would you agree? Okay. I'll tell you my favorite thing to get people to stop and look on Facebook. It's the one that I use the most. It's white space. And what do I mean by that? Think about the last post you had on Facebook. It was just a run-on paragraph. I actually write a line or two, hit enter, enter, so there's some space. Write a line or two, hit enter, enter, so there's some space. So there's blank space. And people will actually stop because that just looks different. And they're like, I don't know what's different about it. Oh, it's correct grammar. I see. That's what's different about it. And you see that blank space, it catches your eye. The whole purpose of this post is to get people to stop scrolling. Because you want them to stop and realize you do real estate. You want them to stop and realize, hey, I have a seller like that. My neighbor's thinking about selling and that's their house. Hey, I'm thinking about selling, that's my house. Hey, I'm looking to buy a house just like that too. So hey, if you find one, let me know.
Would you suggest us to boost this ad?
Okay, so I'm going to answer that question by going back to his question. His question was what? Business page or personal page. Which did I tell you to put it on? You can't boost personal posts. You can only boost business posts. Personal pages, you can't spend money. You can't advertise. The only reason to have a business page, in my opinion, in the world of Facebook today, is you're going to spend money running ads. Yes?
The white space?
Yes.
Or your video, in your opinion, which is better?
Yes.
Both?
Why can't you combine them? When I post my video on Thursday, you'll see there'll also be white space on my post between my words with a video there. Right. So that's one of those questions when my wife asks me a question and I just say yes, and she's like, that didn't help. I'm like, yes! Do them both! Put white space and a video.
I guess sometimes you don't want to be too specific, such as, say, that picture of the house, Chambly, 300,000, because you'll limit your...
Why not? Next week do 412,000 in Dunwoody, and then do this, right? And you're not going to say 300. You're probably going to say, 275 to 325 is what they're looking for.
Okay.
Yes, you should be specific.
Okay.
Because you should have a real buyer you're looking for.
Okay, that's what I was about to say, because I really don't have any buyers, so I just...
Okay, are you on your own or are you on a team?
I'm on my own.
Okay, do you do internet lead generation?
Yes.
Okay, do you have a whole bunch of people who have registered on your website?
Only 60.
Good, you have 60 buyers. You just haven't met them yet. Yet, do they have a search set up on the website that you're using?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you know what house they're looking for. How would you like to post that house, and now someone says, I have that house, I'm thinking about selling it, and now reaching out to your internet lead and saying, I found your house, it's not on the market yet. You want me to drop the mic again?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, any of you who do internet lead generation that say, I don't have a buyer, if anybody is registered on your site, you have a buyer. You just haven't met them yet. Yet they went to your site and said, I'm looking for this kind of house, so why aren't you advertising that kind of house for that buyer to give you a reason to call that buyer? Bless you. Nothing to sneeze at here. This is good stuff. Simple? Easy?
Yeah.
All right.
How
So,
often do you do that?
once a week.
Once a week.
Once a week. Consistent. Pick a time, pick a day, make that consistent. Yes?
Is there a particular time?
Yeah, Wednesday late in the day, Thursday late in the day, and Saturday 10 a.m. are the three best times to post something, actually.
Really?
Yes, because at the end of the business day on Wednesday, people are attempting to get over the hump day, so they start scrolling Facebook. Thursday, we're starting to get to Friday. We scroll Facebook. Friday, we don't, because we're getting out of work as soon as we can. Saturday morning, 10 o'clock, we're up. We haven't started our day yet. We're just sitting around lazy scrolling Facebook. Those are the three most viewed times of Facebook.
Thursday, what time?
End of business day. At 4 o'clock. I probably put it around 4 o'clock, 3:30. Be consistent. And I will tell you this. If you're my Facebook friend, for the last, oh my gosh, every time I think about this, I have to do the math on it. Now it's been almost 9 years. For over 8.5 years, almost 9 years, every Monday at 8:30 a.m. I post the exact same thing on Facebook. I post Movie Monday every Monday at 8:30 in the morning. Why? I love movies. Why? Because I lived in the Pacific West Coast and I had no desire to be entertaining, funny, smart, whatever at 8:30 Eastern Time, which was 5:30 a.m. Pacific Time. So I came up with this and I have posted it every Monday. I ask people what movies they've seen and rate it from 1 to 10. Folks, I will tell you, I hear from people all week long about the movies they went to. They can't watch a movie and not think about Chad. How's that for mindshare? Right? Hey, I saw a movie, can't wait to tell Chad about it. Hey, I saw a movie, can't wait to tell Chad about it. One day, like 7 years ago now, I hadn't posted it yet. I was running a little late, so it was like 8:45 Eastern Time. And someone else posted Movie Monday. And the guy got 100 comments in the span of 10 minutes. And all of them were, leave Chad's post alone. Okay? I will get anywhere from 10 to 50 comments every Monday morning on that from people. And I've done it consistent. They know it's coming. I don't have to think about it. Make this consistent. Same time every week, again and again and again. Whatever time you choose. I don't care if you think Tuesday lunch is the perfect time for you because team meeting is over and it's the trigger in your head to go make this Facebook post. Great. Just be consistent. 5. 5. Every seller, every week. Now, how many of you have been in real estate 9 or less years? Raise your hand. You've never sold in a different market. Please understand that. You've never sold in a different market than the one we're in. What did I draw? Okay. Grandfather clock. What's missing?
Pendulum.
Right, the thingy that we don't know what it's called, right? The pendulum. What's the job of the pendulum?
Mark time.
Back and forth.
Okay. Other than a 3-year-old who literally walks up to the clock and grabs it, will the pendulum ever stop? No. Buyer market, seller market. It has to swing, correct? Can anybody tell me where we are on this right now? You're all guessing.
Price range.
You're all guessing. You know the only way you'll know the answer?
3 months later.
Right, when you look back 3 months from now. Say, oh, that's where we were. Right? Can you agree that we're on this side still?
Yes.
We're still on the seller side.
Yeah.
Are we in the box or out of the box?
In the box. In the box.
You sure?
Yes.
We'll know.
We'll know in
We'll know
about-
later.
All right. I know from the inventory right now, we're not. We're still in a seller's market. There's only 2 to 3 months of inventory. You got to be closer to 4 to the 6 month range to put yourself in that balanced market. Once you get over 6, guess where you are now?
Right.
So what's going to happen in the course of like 3 months? Can we agree that sooner or later, all of a sudden, the market stops? And now all of a sudden, the pendulum really quickly gets over here. We won't live here very long, will we? Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe all of a sudden we get to 5 months inventory and we just sit at 5 months inventory for a long time, which puts us at a balanced market. Heck, what's coming up in 3 months from now? Spring is here 3 months from now, which means school's almost out, which means people start buying. Well, which way is the pendulum going to go when buyers start showing up? Back to the seller's market. So are you sure it's coming this way? I don't know. Okay? I want you to understand this. We don't know where we are, yet most of you have never sold in a different market. I coached one of my partners, it was a few weeks ago. We started the coaching call, and I said, what's the one thing we need to focus on today? She said, I have a listing that I just cannot get sold. I said, tell me more about it. When did we take the listing? She said, 2 weeks ago. Shut up. Right? I say this jokingly, yet I say this completely honestly. You could go out in the buyer's market, when it becomes a buyer's market truly, for those of you who don't get this, you could go out and take a listing. You could earn a listing. You could then go home with your partner and intimately celebrate that you got the listing. You will have the baby before the listing sells. You get it? Okay? You should not be surprised when 9 to 10 months becomes the average days on market. You don't know what that looks like. You need to start living every seller every week. And you need to talk to your sellers every single week. At United Home Group, we follow a method we call the 2-to-1 method. We touch every seller twice a week, and once has to be by voice minimum. Give me a form other than voice that you could use. Text. What else?
Email.
Email. What else?
Voicemail.
Voicemail.
Carrier pigeon.
Carrier pigeon. Face-to-face. Thank you note, snail mail. Facebook Messenger. Tag them on Facebook with something, right? That can be one. Yet the other one has to be voice. Right? It has to be voice. Now I'll explain to you why, and then I'll give you my script. Here's the thing. How many of you are good communicators? Right. The fact you have to tell me you are, you're not. Okay. Yet you tell your clients that you're a great communicator. And you get the listing appointment. And then you earn the listing at the appointment. And then you take the listing from them. And week 1 is awesome because it's a new listing, so it's very exciting. And you call them at the end of week 1 to give them your weekly update. Good for you. Week 2 shows up. Not much has happened yet, so you pick up the phone still and you call them and just say, hey, things are going great, we're only on the 2nd week, things are moving, right? Yay, it was a snow day anyway, nobody cares, right? Whatever it is, you're okay. Week 3 shows up. Statistics tell us if a home hasn't gotten multiple offers in the first 3 weeks, what should we be doing? Correcting the price. We don't reduce prices. We correct prices. Okay, we adjust or correct prices based on the market. We don't reduce. Make sure you get your languaging right.
Yes.
Now, we should do that on week 3. Yeah, we don't want to do that on week 3 yet. So we'll call them on week 3, yet we'll avoid that conversation because we don't want to have that hard conversation because then they'll blame us because we didn't sell it. What are you doing? Why isn't it sold? Right? So we don't want to have that conversation. Yet we'll call them and we'll follow up. Well, then week 4 shows up and we know we definitely have to have that conversation now. Can we agree? So what do? We don't call. We just hit the real button with somebody in the back of the room, right? We don't call. We know we don't call. We don't want to have the conversation. We don't call. Week 5 shows up. They call us. We don't answer because we're not ready to have that conversation still. Week 6 shows up and we're like, oh, please don't call me, please don't call me, please don't call me. Now all of a sudden week 7 shows up and we realize it's been way too long since we've talked to them. So now it's just embarrassing to call. So now we'll just forget them. And now we're that horrible communicating realtor that they complained about that we said we wouldn't be. And then all of a sudden by the end of 3 months when our contract expired because we were silly enough to take a 3-month listing, we sneak over in the middle of the night to take down the sign and get the lockbox because we don't even want to have to take them. And that's what you become. Don't do that. If you live every seller every week right now, you have no choice. And here's the script I gave every seller when I took their listing. I said, I'm going to call you Tuesday on my lunch break. I'm going to give you a quick update. There are only 2 reasons I won't call you. One, I won the lottery. 2, I'm dead. Now, I don't play the lottery. So if I don't call, will you please call my wife and check on her? That was my script to every listing I took. What did I have to do Tuesday on my lunch break? Call.
Did you say I'm going to call every Tuesday?
I will call you every Tuesday on my lunch break.
Not on Tuesday, every Tuesday.
I'll call you every Tuesday on my lunch break. Yes?
Chad, on the, when you initially listing, is it good to set that expectation that after a certain period of time, we may do a price correction?
It is so realistic to have that conversation that I actually made them sign a price correction form at the listing.
Adjustment.
Yeah, we corrected it at the
In that
listing.
way, you're not having an uncomfortable.
Nope, and if they don't want to sign it at the listing, I used to make them put a giant X through the form and say not at this time is what they would write on it, so that in 3 or 4 weeks when I called them about it, I was able to say, remember that paper you didn't want to deal with? Now I got to talk to you about it again. We need to have this conversation. We've had it once. Okay? So I'm going to call you every Tuesday on my lunch break. There's only 2 reasons I won't call. 1, I won the lottery. 2, I'm dead. Now, I don't play the lottery, so if I don't call you, please reach out and check on my wife. Okay? Now, every Tuesday on the lunch break, I had to call. And if they knew I was giving them a quick update, it didn't have to be a long call. I waited till Tuesday. That was my choice. Here's why I did Tuesday. Because if we were going to get any offers or any feedback from any showings over the weekend, I would have them by Tuesday at lunch. Right? Even if people said, hey, we're going to think about it over the weekend, and then they got together with the realtor and wrote the offer on Monday, by Tuesday I've got it. Or I know there's an offer coming. They've reached out to me and said, we're going to write you an offer. We just haven't gotten to it yet. So then I knew to be able to prepare my people. Or I got the feedback and said, oh, your carpet is ugly. Or, oh, you're way overpriced. We bought the neighbor's house. It was at a way better deal. Or whatever it was. Okay? That's why I chose Tuesday. Now, can we agree that sometimes you just don't want to talk to that seller because you know the 2-minute conversation is going to be a 22-minute conversation? Yeah. Okay, so write down this app. It's my second favorite app in the world. Sly Dial. SLYDIAL. Now, Sly Dial works like this. You'll open it up. It'll look like a phone keypad. You'll type in their phone number, and it'll call them. While it's calling them, you will listen to an ad because you're too cheap to pay for the full version. You'll listen to the ad. When the ad is done, you'll be in their voicemail. And it'll show up as a missed call voicemail. Sly Dial. SLYDIAL. Okay? Now, if you're willing to pay for the full version, you'll dial. You'll just be right in their voicemail. You won't listen to the ad. It will never ring on their end. So when you all of a sudden have on your phone a missed call voicemail, and you're like, my phone didn't even ring, someone just Sly dialed you. When Bold's in the area right now, isn't it?
Yep, we're Bold.
Okay. Did they Sly dial all of you? Did you all get the call from Maps in the last few weeks about it? They were doing that for a while, but all of a sudden you'd get a voicemail that said, oh, I'm so sorry I missed you. I really wanted to talk to you about Bold because it's coming to the area. And you're like, you didn't even call me. Right? You just recorded that message and Sly dialed me with it. Okay? Well, that's called Sly Broadcast, which you can do up to 1,000 phone numbers at once that way if you wanted to. Okay? Here's the rule about Sly Dial. You're not allowed to use it 2 weeks in a row.
For the same number.
Yeah. It's not that you can't do it. They're going to get suspicious of you if you keep doing it.
It only works on a cell phone. You cannot call landline.
Correct. It won't work on a landline.
And it won't work on some people's phones for some reason.
Well, it works on my mom's, and that's the only one that matters. Don't tell Mom!
Yeah.
Now look, here's the voicemail that I would leave when I would Sly dial people. Hey, it's Chad. I'm on my way into an appointment, yet I wanted to call you because this is my weekly update time. No news this week to update you on. I'll call you later. Now, where did I tell them I was going? So even if they immediately call me back, I don't have to answer. That was the purpose I Sly dialed them in the first place. I'm on my way into an appointment. Now, I don't always seem to have an appointment Tuesday at the lunch hour, as that would be suspicious every week. I'm avoiding them. Okay? So Sly Dial is a powerful tool for that. It's every seller every week. You've got to call them at least once a week. Pick a time, pick a day, make it your follow-up day. You're going to do your follow-up lead gen work, and you're going to do your follow-up calls. Here's the thing. How many of you right now have 2 or fewer listings? Don't be embarrassed. How many of you have 2 or fewer listings? Great. You need to build your business now like you have 20. Because all of a sudden you're going to have 20, you're going to be like, ah! You need to start living now like you have that so you grow into that. Not, oh, I only have 1 buyer, I can manage to pay attention to everything that's going on. No, you need to have these systems.
Check, can you repeat that script?
Which one? My voicemail?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Chad. I'm running into a meeting or an appointment. I just wanted to follow up with you because it's our weekly scheduled call update time. No news this week. I'll catch up with you again next week. Folks, when it comes to the scripts, don't worry about every single word that I say exact, because what you'll notice is I never say it exact twice. Yet it's the same script every time, isn't it? Okay. I want you to just make it sound natural to you. We'll talk about that shortly. All right, 6. Are there any brokers in the room? Don't listen. Yeah, broker's license. That doesn't mean you're the broker. That just means you have a broker's license.
These are old.
FSBO deals if you must. Now, you never must. Yeah, let me explain how this one got into here and why we're going to talk about it for a second. Kody built this program around coaching of a certain few people he was working with. One of them had said to Kody that he was setting a goal he would achieve 10 listings that month. And if he didn't get 10 listings in a month, he would do something. I don't know what it was. Something he didn't want to do, right? Shave his head, get a tattoo of Kody on him, something. I mean, I don't know what it was. And Kody calls him on the 30th of the month. He said, so, how'd you do? And the guy said, Kody, my best month ever had been 3 listings in a month. He said, I know. We've been coaching together. He goes, how'd you do? He goes, I've got 9. Cody's like, that's great. What was the goal? And the guy said, no, Kody, you're not listening. I've never had more than 3. I have 9. Kody said, that's awesome. What was the goal? The guy said, Kody, you're not listening. Kody said, I'm absolutely listening. You've never had more than 3. You're really excited that you have 9. Yet you made a goal and a commitment to me. You were going to get how many? And the guy went, 10. He went, great. You've got the day. Bye. I hung up on the guy. Now, at the end of the day, the guy calls Kody at 5:15 p.m. He said, Kody, I'm sorry I'm calling you after 5 o'clock, yet I wanted to tell you that I got the 10th listing. Cody said, why did it take you so long, and why are you calling me so late? And the guy said, well, here's the reason, Kody. When my wife got home at 5 o'clock, I had to explain to her why there was a for sale sign in our yard. She wasn't sure if we were moving or just I was moving. Folks, could you list your own house? If I offered you $50,000 more than your house was worth right now, how many of you would take it? Go list your house for that. You're just an unrealistic seller, not an overpriced listing. I will almost guarantee you, if I walked into Gary Keller's Top 100 Agent Mastermind, 50% of that room at some point has listed their own house. Because what's the purpose of a listing?
To get more leads.
Get more leads. You don't have any? Put a sign in your yard. Find a house nearby that's not too bad, that's like yours, that's at a good price, and when people start calling, say, that seller's unrealistic, yet there's this really cute one around the corner I'd love to show you. Okay? Now, let's talk about it, because you can only list your house so many times. Your neighbors are going to wonder what's going on. You like witness relocation? What's going on? The other thing is, none of you have yet made a commitment to say you'll earn 10 listings in a month, so you don't have to do this. Understand that. Okay? Give me some deals we could make with a for sale by owner. What's one of the obvious logical deals you could make with a for sale by owner?
A one-day listing to do an open house.
Okay, so you could do a one-day listing to do the open house of the house. You don't even need to list it to do the open house. You could just get written authorization from them to do the open house. Let me tell you how you're all doing the for sale by owner open house wrong, though. You're telling the for sale by owner to go away so that you can have their house as an open house and generate traffic to sell their house for them. Now, everything you tell them once they've walked out the door is a lie. However many people showed up, didn't show up, whatever, and you're inconveniencing them and making them leave. Use my script. It works way better. Okay? Mr. For Sale by Owner, I'm going to show your house as an open house this Saturday. I'm going to do all the marketing a realtor would do to make your house available, get people through your house, drive lots of traffic to your house. Are you okay with me doing that for you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm not going to charge you a dime to do this. Here's the thing, though, Jake. You have to be there with me. Because as people come walking into the house, I'm going to introduce you as the homeowner who is selling the house. And it's up to you to sell them your house. And I want nothing to do with it. Now, Jake, let me ask you a question. Would you agree that not everybody who walks into the house is going to love your house?
That's right.
Somebody's going to want the master to be on the first floor and they didn't know it wasn't until they walked in. Somebody's going to want a fourth bedroom, you don't have that, they didn't know it until they walked in. Would you agree?
Yes.
I want to talk to those people before they leave. Is that fair?
Yeah.
That makes it a win-win for both of us. Now, if you can get somebody to buy your house, I'll stick right out of the deal. You don't have to worry about it. I won't even charge you a dime. Okay? How much more likely do you think a for sale by owner is to give me an open house opportunity now with that conversation? Okay, now, flash forward with me. One of two things are going to happen. Can we agree? Either nobody's going to show up or a bunch of people are going to show up. Right? One of those two things is going to happen for the for sale by owner open house. Which one do you want me to show you first?
When they beat the house up, when everybody shows up.
Everybody shows up, okay? So we're going to be really, really, really busy. Whole bunch of people are going to show up. Now they leave. The open house is over. That was awesome, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Look how many people we brought in. Did you sell the house? Oh, goodness. Well, here's what I think. Did you see the professional marketing that the realtor did that drove traffic to you to get your home sold today? Imagine if I was full-time your realtor getting all these things done. Jake, here's what I want to do. I want to take the sign-in sheet. I want to attach them to the listing contract. If any of them come back to buy the house within 30 days without a realtor, I'll walk away from the deal. You don't owe me a dime. Yet let me put my professional marketing to place and find you that buyer because you saw what I could do for you just today. Let me do the other version. The other version is nobody shows up. Boy, Jake, we had fun hanging out here for 2 hours, didn't we?
Yeah, boy.
You know, here's the problem. Most for sale by owners are relying on people just driving by the sign, coming to an open house opportunity to sell your house. Did you realize how that doesn't work? Aren't you ready for me to go professional and do the real marketing that you need to get your home sold? Plus, what have I done for the last 2 hours? We've been talking, because we've been hanging out waiting for someone to show up. I build a rapport with that person for 2 hours. The only way you lose, literally the only way you lose on this, is one person shows up at the open house, loves the open house, buys the open house, and the seller doesn't have to move anywhere because they're moving in with family or something and there's no purchase on the other side. Yet still, I probably can get a referral out of this person. That's the only way I did anything for free. Otherwise, it was all to get them to end up listing with me, and even if he does sell the house to the one person who showed up, now maybe he's letting me be his buyer's agent because that cost him nothing, and we've just spent that time helping him get his home sold. Or I could charge him 1% and do all the paperwork to keep it legal. Jake, do you want me to do 1%? I'll just do a flat fee, 1%. I'll do all the paperwork. I'll make you guys legal. You don't have to worry because 82% of all real estate lawsuit cases involve a for sale by owner. I don't want to leave you out there now. Okay? Check with your broker. Find out your rules. Yet, that's how you do one.
When you're doing the open house for that for sale by owner, are you putting your
Yes.
Keller Williams sign, open house?
I'm putting the open house signs there. I mean, I'm not putting my sign in the yard, probably. I'm putting an open house sign right there in the yard that's got my phone number, my information on it, absolutely. I'm putting my open house signs along the way, absolutely, to get the marketing, get the branding for it, sure. Here's another thing I keep mentioning when I teach this class all the time. Think about for sale by owners. They wake up one morning and decide they're going to sell their house on their own, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, there's one place that they go. Where's the first store that they go to if they're going to sell their house on their own?
Home Depot.
They go to Home Depot. Why do they go to Home Depot, for those who haven't figured it out? They got to buy the sign. Why aren't you selling the sign?
I'm checking out broker.
Why aren't you making it obvious to them that you have those signs and you don't even need to sell them? You'll just give them a sign for free if they want to sell their house on their own. Because now who do they have to talk to before they can get the for sale by house sign? For free, to save the $29.99 because they're so cheap they don't want to pay anything. Anyway, they fill out your questionnaire, your information, and you're face-to-face with them for them to earn the free for sale by owner sign that they want in front of their house anyway. You see, I'm going to teach that enough times, someone's going to finally do it, and 4 years from now at family reunion, they're going to say, Gary, my business is huge, because here's what I did with for sale by owners, because Chad Hyams shared this in a class one day, and I'm the only one who listened.
Yeah, but how do you know before they buy the sign? How do you
advertise? How do they know to go to Home Depot?
Advertising.
Somebody else.
Maybe I should just hang out at Home Depot by the for sale by owner.
There are many realtors I know who have lead generated in Home Depot, watching that aisle. Okay, so open house was one that we heard in there. We heard another deal we could make with a for sale by owner in there, and what was that? No, he gave us two in one sentence. He said, do something so I could do the open house. A one-day listing. Nobody said you have to sign a 2, 3, 4, 9-month listing agreement. If I were active in the field, you can be sure that last week I would have gone to every for sale by owner I know, specifically last week, and said, give me a 5-day listing. Give me a listing until Tuesday. Give me a listing until Tuesday. I only want it for 5 days till Tuesday. Let me get in the system immediately and on the market until Tuesday. Why did I want to get it on the market until Tuesday? Because Atlanta is packed and someone's going to want to live here. So let me get your home exposed in a way you're not getting it exposed and see if I can get it sold over Super Bowl weekend for you. Now, when Tuesday showed up and my listing expired because nobody actually came, what are the chances that I could actually get them to extend it, right? You've already got me doing all the work. I'm already on it. You want me to just keep doing this for you? So I absolutely would have. What would I use now? I would be talking to for sale by owners right now and saying, let's make a sweetheart deal out of this. Give me the listing through Valentine's Day. Let me see if I can find some guy who wants to buy his wife a house for Valentine's Day and get the marketing out there for you. Just looking for a 1-week listing opportunity. It's the door. Let's get in the door. Okay? What's another deal? What's the most obvious deal I can do to a for sale by owner? I mean, I can't believe you guys haven't all said this one.
Bring the buyer.
Well, of course you can find a buyer. They're going to be happy if you find the buyer. How can you find a buyer? You don't even know what the house looks like, though. Folks, reduce your commission. Huh? How much are you getting paid by the for sale by owner right now? So what if you did it for 5% and kept 2?
They would be Redfin.
No, they're only doing 1.5. And they're doing no work. Yet, would you prefer to let Redfin have the listing? Or would you prefer to have the listing? So why are you letting Redfin list it at 1.5 on the selling side? Because you do know they're still charging 3% on the buying side. Their marketing just makes it sound good. Right? They're doing a 4.5% listing. Why aren't you doing a 4.5% listing? Because it might as well be your sign and let people call you, not Redfin. I'm not telling you you need to do it. I'm just saying, is it an option? Yeah, it's an option. We do an adjustable commission rate on our team. If you bring the buyer, we'll do it for 1%. We'll keep you all legal, do all the paperwork. We won't advise anybody yet. We'll do all the paperwork along the way.
But doesn't that kind of, does that kind of set a trend, though, like for the rest of the market?
I'm not doing it for all of them. And he wasn't going to list with me anyway. Okay? 3% if I bring you the buyer. It's 6% if someone else brings the buyer. And now it's a race. Let's see who can find the buyer for your house first, because now we've got more people attempting to market it for you. Still working. It's a 6% listing. I'm just saying, if you bring the buyer, Mr. For Sale by Owner, what are the odds the For Sale by Owner actually brings their own buyer to themselves once I've started marketing it?
0.
0. They've given up. Once they see me do the work, they're going to be like, they'll find it. Okay? Here's the thing. The question was, isn't that setting a trend? Sure, it could be setting a trend. Right now, who's setting the trend? Redfin at 1.5%. You like that trend? Do something about it. Right? I'm saying that in support. I'm saying that in the nicest way I can possibly say it. Do something about it, or it becomes a trend. Yes?
Plus, you're not advertising it. You're offering it to someone. They're not running out and going, oh, she offered me this. Or
correct. I'm not promoting this, and it's not on a billboard somewhere. I'm not Mark Spain saying, I'll get you an offer before the day is over. Sure you will, Mark, at 50% of property value. Right? And if you people aren't using that in your scripts, you don't understand. The only way you're going to beat Knox, Zillow, all these people, I shared the script this morning on the phone with somebody. I don't understand why you don't all have this script. Right? Why you all haven't learned this one. Okay? It's so simple to have. Let me ask you right now. You're thinking about selling your home, you're thinking about using Knox. Okay? I understand. They're a great company. I hear good things about them. Here's the thing. They're going to buy your house from you, and they're going to sell your house in 90 days. Now, let me ask you, if you were going to forecast 90 days from today, do you think your house is worth a lot more money than it's worth today? You don't? Okay, I just want to make sure, because if you did, we'd hold it for 90 more days, wouldn't we? Okay, so you don't think your house is going to be worth a lot more 90 days from today? No? Okay. Knox's going to sell it in 90 days, though. They want to make profit. Can you agree a company like that doesn't stay in business losing money? There's only one way they make profit, selling it 90 days from today. And what's that?
Buying low.
Buy low. You okay selling it low? No. Then let me do what I do and actually get you fair market value for your house. Folks, do you understand that Knock, Open Door, all these companies are coming along, their 70% market value is what they're offering the people. There is 1 in every 100 that should take the deal. Like for some reason, they need the house sold tomorrow, they have to move for some reason, you can't sell it that fast. Yes, you should take the cash run. Okay? Yet did you also know, if you read all their contracts closely, it says that until the property is closed, repair requests can still be demanded.
Right.
You could literally be in the truck, packed, ready to leave, and they can call and say, we want $5,000 more because the air conditioning needs to be replaced, we just found out. And you can't do anything except pay it or cancel the contract and put everything back in the house. You sure you want to be in that position? Okay? Facebook deals if you must know that one. That leads to number 7. Okay, number 1 was what? Don't look back. What was 1? Set an appointment every day, known as DUB. Okay? Number 2 was?
Knock on one FISBO expired each day.
Knock on a FISBO or expired every day, known as. Okay? 3 was?
Follow up Wednesday.
4 was?
I have a fireplace.
5 was? 6 was? The ones I said you would be like, yeah. 7 is the one you know, the one that should truly be number 1. It's the one if I put number 1, you would have just been, oh, it's one of those classes, I'm leaving. Scripts. You need to know them and you don't. How many of you in the room will admit you hate doing scripts? Why do you hate them? There's one reason. There's only one reason. I know what it is, yet why do you hate them?
They don't sound natural.
They don't sound like me, right? Doesn't sound like me. Folks, let me ask you this. What letter in the alphabet comes after N? How many of you will admit you just went LMNOP in your head? Yeah. You even went to P and you didn't need to. How many of you will admit you started at A because you didn't even start in the middle and you're still going? It's a script, folks. The alphabet's a script. See, here's what you do wrong. You memorize scripts. Stop memorizing scripts. Start internalizing scripts. Don't memorize them. Internalize them, because then you can customize them. You see, I've never seen a script in any of the Keller Williams scripting books that said y'all. I just haven't. And it doesn't sound natural for you to say, you all should. Okay, well, if you internalize that script, how would that naturally come out when you customized it? Y'all. And then it would be you. It wouldn't sound like Diana Kokoska talking. It wouldn't sound like Gary Keller talking. It wouldn't sound like Chad talking or Brad talking from teaching you a script. It would sound like you. You've got to internalize so you can customize. Now here's the way I learn scripts, because scripts is 2 different things to me. First, scripts is learning scripts. Okay, so I'm going to take a script, whatever my script is, and I'm going to read it out loud as fast as I can 5 times every morning. It's going to sound like this. I'm going to read out loud. I'm not going to put any emotion to it. I'm just going to be reading the script, and I'm going to get to the end of the script. Then I'm going to go back, and I'm going to read the script all again. I'm going to read the same thing. There's no emotion. I'm just going to read the script. Then I'm going to do it one more time. Then I'm going to take a deep breath, and I'm going to do the whole script again. I'm going to do the script one more time. I'm going to do the script one more time. Okay? At lunchtime, I'm going to do the same thing. At dinner time, or before bed, I'm going to do the exact same thing. The next day, I'm going to wake up, and I'm going to quiz myself. Do I know that script? And if I know that script really, really well, I don't have to. I can go grab the next script I want to learn. If I couldn't do the script, guess what script I'm doing again all day? That script. 3 more times that day. Can you agree? Some scripts will take you, bless you, no time to learn. Right? Can you agree? Some scripts will take you a little longer to learn. Yes. Yet you've got to have that repetition to internalize the script. By reading it really fast, you're not worried about the exact perfect order of every word. You're not worrying about it. By taking the emotion out of it, you're not sitting there saying, oh, I got to smile right now, and I'm going to do all that stuff. No, you got to just read the script. Because your idea is, how do I shove it in? How do I shove it in? How do I shove it in so it sticks, kind of. When I regurgitate it, do I get pretty close? If I do, I can move on. I have that script. Now, the thing most of you don't do is you don't do the role play piece. And you see, the role play piece is now you go find a partner. And you guys either do it face to face, or you do it over the phone, or you do it back to back, depending on what script you're working on with each other. And you say, hey, you're going to be my role play partner, you're a for sale by owner, you've been on the market for 3 weeks, you're frustrated, you haven't gotten your home sold. Ready? Ring, ring, ring. And now we go into it. And then when we're done, he says, okay, Chad, I need you to be a first-time home buyer. You're nervous, you don't know what to do, your parents think they know everything, and they've told you all these things. Ready? Ring, ring, ring. Let's go. Now, when you do role play, here's what you do. If you are the seller or buyer, the non-realtor role, you object, you give the appointment. Because we're training you to win. You object, you give the appointment. Don't be that role play partner that says, you're never getting me to listen to you, come on. It's not going to happen, right? Aliens might invade. I don't think I should listen to you just in case that happens. Answer that one. Right? Don't be the jerk. You're there to help each other. And when you get stumped on an objection, ask the other person, say, oh, that's a good one. What would you have said? Because the only reason they came up with that objection is because they just heard that objection. You should be role-playing. I'm going to give you a line from a movie, and I'm going to bet 50% of this room at least knows the movie from the line. It's one of the more famous lines in all movies out there, and the line is simple. The line is this: you're going to need a bigger boat. Now, what movie is it? Jaws. It's not in the script. It's an ad-lib. Roy Schneider knew the script so well, he could ad-lib. And then get back on script without even interfering with anything. Scripts are not to be the only way you talk. Scripts are to give you the roadmap so you can ad-lib safely. I live in Johns Creek. Are there multiple ways for me to get home? Okay? And depending on traffic, it'll depend which way I take, correct? Okay. There's a script to get me home. I'm going to choose to go this route. Now, could I all of a sudden detour in the middle of that route because I realized I made a poor choice? That's the ad-lib. And then I'm going to get back onto my script and continue my way home. The reason you learn the scripts is so you can ad-lib and have that conversation with the seller or the buyer that sounds natural, yet you know the script well enough to know the flow of how the conversation should go and how to get back on path. Stop being scared of scripts. Because I will tell you this, the agents who will be up on stages at family reunion will all tell you it's because of their scripts. The mega agents in this company are mega agents for a reason. How many of you would like to be a mega agent? Learn your scripts. None of them sit here and say, I don't like scripts. If one person's saying it works, guess what? It works for everybody. Why did Mark Spain, right? We all know Mark. Why did Mark Spain start advertising guaranteed offer on your house?
Open door.
Because all the other people were doing it. It was their script. So he said, hey, I'm going to have that. It works for them. I'm going to make that my script. I got a guy on my team that has sold 3 houses in his year. Sold 3 houses. That's all he sold. He doesn't have another job. He doesn't have a lot of money. He offers the guaranteed contract. What do you mean, oops? He walks in, he says, I'll give you a contract on the house before the day is over today. It's going to be 70% of market value, because you can be sure he could then pick up the phone and find 100 people who would say, yes, I'll write that for you. You don't have to be Mark Spain to be offering it. You just have to be Mark Spain to put your own check on it. Okay? Draw a line underneath everything you've been writing on the page, wherever you are, straight across the page, and put a number 1 underneath that. We've got the 7 steps now. You're going to learn this from every class you come to with me. If you come back, you should just anticipate this happening. I don't want you to write your ahas. Hopefully you got at least 7 ahas. Can you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. Guess what about the scripts? Well, no, guess what about the scripts? Did anybody see me read notes for today's class?
No.
So what was today's class?
Script.
Big giant script that I just know. Do you think I've told some of these stories before? Do you think I've told some of these jokes before? Do you think your class asked a question or challenged something that another class hadn't?
No.
Say yes. Yes.
Good.
Nobody's asked me about business page versus personal page in the middle of this class. Yet did I know the script well enough to deviate, ad-lib, answer that, and get right back on course? Okay. So I want you to understand how scripts can work. Did you feel like I was reading you a script, though? No. Because I know them. You don't feel like you're listening to them. Now, what I want you to write is the one thing. The one thing you're going to implement from today. You can't write the 7. You can't just write them all. You can't say, well, I'm going to go do all those things. Because you won't. You can do 1. Once you start doing it, guess what? You can come back and choose a second. Yet, how many of you are going to a class later this week? Do you think you'll get something from that class you want to do? So if you just start creating a list of all the things you're going to do from all these classes you're going to do them from, you're going to do nothing. Take one thing, go implement it, go to the next class, go learn something from there, and implement it. I don't take notes in classes anymore. I sit there and listen for the one thing that sticks with me at the end of the class to say, that's the thing I'm going to go back and do. Now, you can't leave until I hear 5 of them. So, talk about that. Okay, you're going to knock at least a FSBO or an expired every single day, starting when?
Tomorrow.
Okay, do you come into the office regularly?
I'm in Ignite right now.
You're in Ignite right now. Is there anybody else in Ignite right now? Okay, are you willing to ask him every day for the address of the house he knocked?
Hell yeah.
Okay, you do not have to give her... You do not have to give her the address, because then she'll go show up at the door. Yeah, you better have an address to say, yes, I truly have an address that I could prove that I knocked someone's door. Okay, good. What's one? Yes?
The disclosure packet.
Yeah, the packet to make for the for sale by owners, if you're going to do it.
On my car.
Okay, good, excellent, yes.
I have a buyer post.
The I have a buyer post, you're going to start doing that weekly. Okay?
Scripts to combat some of the discount brokerages conversations that I'm having with my database.
Folks, if you're having the same conversation more than once, go find the script to answer it. Because if 2 people have asked you, 4 people are going to ask you. So you might as well have that script in place right now. Go find someone who has them. Go ask somebody. Go create one, however you want to do it. Okay? One more, and then I'll let you go.
Follow-up Wednesday.
What about Follow-Up Wednesday? Tell me more.
I love it.
Okay, so you're going to set one day a week that's going to be dedicated to following up.
Because you were really annoying on your calls, but you made it work.
Yes.
So, it's just the touches.
Yes.
And phones are more important, I think.
Phones are much more important than we give them credit for. Gang, did you learn something today?
Yeah.
Is it worth your time? Yeah. See you next month.